People I talk to do not believe that Nigeria is going to have a very bright future. I have to be very sincere. A lot of people believe that we are sitting on a time bomb. Previous slide. Yeah, a lot of people believe that we are sitting on a time bomb, and that where we are today, that in any time from now, the war can come up. Some people believe that Nigeria is getting worse, more corrupt leaders are coming up, and that as time goes on, everybody's just looking for a visa as a way to get out of the country. But is that supposed to be? I believe that there is no problem that does not have a solution. When I'm in the cab, people talk, condemn Nigeria, do all sorts of things, but when I'm with some of my friends, after condemning, I always try to ask them, if you are the president, what exactly are you going to do? What is going to be your approach to solve this problem? How do you think Nigeria can be part of this movement? And many a times, some people don't even have anything to say. Some people most times would say that some people say the government should steal some money, allow some. But the point I'm trying to make here is there's technological advancement is not something that is within the control of man. I mentioned it earlier. It is something that keeps going on and on. You can't decide, even the US government cannot decide that. I think it's a kind of research. There was a course we did in school back then. I think it's MNE2 or something. But what everything I'm trying to say was that technology is something that just has to keep happening. You can't reduce how much man keeps innovating. There was a time man was using arrows. Man started making guns. There are nuclear bombs. I'm sure that there will be more terrible ones in the future. And likewise with gadgets and technology we are using. But if we look at Nigeria and some of the developed countries, you find out that it appears as if we are dated 5 years behind them in time, because the things you see there at the moment now are things that we don't have here, and things we have here were things they had 5 years ago, and it appears as if we keep following this trend. But has anybody ever thought of a way that we can be part of this innovation? You help Nigerians doing great things, but you always have to fly out of the country, attend Harvard, do their PhD. When they now become successful, everybody will say, that was a Nigerian. His daddy's uncle was born in Nigeria. But is it possible for something to happen from this part of the country where someone will do something that will have an impact on the whole world? Which is where I'm going with this. I believe that the field or the industry in which Nigerians can compete globally and equally is in ICT. And why do I say this? Of course, Nigeria has money issues, even the US has money issues as well, but we are spending every day. But no matter how much we spend, you might find it difficult to fathom in your mind how you can ever catch up with some of these countries. Some of them, of course, had their independence and they've been big countries since probably the 16th century or whatever. But for us to be on the same page as this country, for us to compete equally, I believe that in information and communication technology, we can. And as we go on in the presentation, I'll highlight how this will be. So, sorry, next slide. So yeah, time actually is moving fast, and as time moves, lots of things are happening. So if you look at something in the US and you want to replicate it, and it takes you 5 years to do the same, it means that you're actually still not there yet. But I believe that, like I've said in the beginning, that I have a belief that if everybody sees ICT as a channel, like a solution that I would prefer would be to enable our youth. We need to enable ourselves. We need to empower ourselves in the field of ICT, because all the videos we've been seeing since morning, they weren't showing structures, they weren't showing buildings of the future. They weren't even showing how flowers would be or how the road would be. But they were showing information technology, and of course, we all know what the definition of information technology is. And basically, it's this technology that I know that it's easy for us to be part of. And Not to waste our time, I'll just go on to explain what makes the ICT industry a unique one, and one in which we can easily be a part of. And firstly, it's the fact that it's applicable in all industries. That means the development of ICT means the development of every sector. In agriculture, in governance, election, top of all industries, in education, all across. That means that if ICT is highly developed in this country, it means that all these other things will be affected. So also it's the direction of the future, like we've all seen. The country that has the best technology is the one that is always leading. And also, it greatly improves efficiency and accessibility. And I'll go on to highlight this as we move forward. But first of all, innovation. What is the definition of innovation? I'm sorry, next slide. What's the definition of innovation? Innovation could mean a number of things, but of course, it's from a perspective. Innovation is doing something new, creating something new that no one has done before, and as a reason you are identified, you are made special. And innovation is what drives technology. Meaning you need to be able to come up with exciting new ideas. But it doesn't stop at the idea level. Innovation, as we said, in terms of ICT and in terms of Nigeria being part of this game, is in tech all over the world. It's been found that a lot of big companies are doing things to enable people all over the world to have access to tools and kits that can help you to develop tools. I'll be making reference to Microsoft. Microsoft has been mentioned several times today, but they in particular, they produce tools. Of course, they know that they can't single-handedly do anything. They can't have all the ideas, they can't make everything happen. But they provided lots of tools. Of course, it's not for free, but there are tools that, as a person located in this part of the country, if you lay your hands on those tools, you'll be at the same level as someone who is in the developed country. And the reason I'm saying this is I'm going to pick a part of ICT. Of course, ICT is very broad. It covers telecommunication, covers programming, covers software, and so many other things. But I'm going to be narrowing down on software development, for instance, which is what everything you've seen since morning has been built on. Of course, the reason you have a phone is because you want to communicate, and of course, you are transferring information, whether it is audio, video, or just data. So, basically, if we can sit down and pick these tools, we'll be able to innovate things that will be able to transform not just this country, but the entire world. But how will this happen? Does anybody know anything that is very unique to Mark Zuckerberg when he started Facebook? I'm sure it's a very popular example. You can't easily say that it was because he had no special facility. I'm sure that there are lots of people as skilled as Mark was while he was in school. But what made him different? He was able to think of an innovative solution to something he found around him. And I know that considering our special location, there's a group of countries they call the CIVET countries, CIVETS. I'm not sure I expanded that on the screen. They are called emerging countries, and they are countries where people are running to invest. They believe that they are not fully developed yet, but they believe that they are the big bombs, that they are the next set of countries that would be some of the biggest developed countries. And I think Colombia, Indonesia, I don't remember what V is. Vietnam, then E should be Egypt or so. Then there's T, then there's S. S is South Africa. So basically, these countries have a lot of population, and whenever you want to come out with a solution that impacts everybody, if you can sit down and come up with one, you find out that the Nigerian market is enough to make you a billionaire, so to say. And it's not about the money, but it's about being part of this technological movement that I was speaking about. And of course, you need to develop a solution that is applicable to your immediate environment. The next thing is career. Next thing is career enhancement. And please next slide. Career enhancement basically comes in many ways, but of course we all study different courses. There are civil engineers, there are lawyers, there are doctors, all different fields. But how does ICT relate to this? ICT is a way. ICT you can bring ICT into your field in a very unique way. I'll give an example with a man called I can't remember his full name, but he's in India. I know one of his names is Khan, but okay, Samuel Khan. He applied ICT into education. Of course, we've had software like Skype, like so many softwares we use for communication, but he applied it to education in a very unique way. And what he did was he does a tutorial lecture from a special interface where he broadcasts it all over the world. So from Nigeria here, you can learn algebra in a very, very simplified manner, listening to his lecture, and you have imagery and everything. He's sketching and explaining it to you, and a lot of people have found it very, very helpful. And he's heard all over the world. Even Bill Gates have commended him that his children even listen to his lecture. So what did he do? Did he buy a $1 billion facility before he could achieve that? He didn't. What if we had 1,000 Nigerians with different innovations as equal as this? What if we have Nigerians who are thinking, and even if it's a solution you create for Nigeria, if you have 20 million people benefiting from your solution, I'm sure that BBC will be talking about you. And I'm sure that you'll also be at least on the same path in that industry. And like I said, that industry has impact on every other industry. It means that education in India will be rated higher than some other countries just because of this. So how can we improve every sector of our economy? It is by making sure that ICT, for one, is something that we take very, very seriously. It's usually the last thing, I'm sure, in government planning. Maybe let's take care of ICT. But I'm sure that if we give more attention and focus to this, that we are going to have a lot of change in our growth. And also, talent maximization is basically we have various individuals with various talents. Some people say it's not everybody that should come to school, but that's not really what this is saying. But if you were a singer, for instance, and you want to, or maybe you are a guitarist, for instance. I play the guitar, so what if you're a guitarist and you have a lot of passion for this, and you really want to, get yourself out? ICT can be applied. You can get in your room, do a video tutorial, you can post it on the web, you can have a network where people can come and learn the guitar, not even just playing it out. And there's been things like this that have been very, very successful, but we don't have anything like this. We have a lot of vacuum in terms of application of ICT in Africa. And basically, I'm sure that if we all pick this up at this moment, it's going to help build our economy, it's going to help develop ourselves. Even if that's the thing we are really known for, it's going to help us. But some other fields, of course, everything needs to be balanced. I'm not saying that ICT should be 100% of the budget of the country or what we should face squarely, but it is a vital part of everything. And I believe that if we all realize this, we all employ this, we all take this very, very seriously, I'm sure that there's going to be a change. And we have a lot of people who are into ICT. We're not saying people should get into it, but we should be thinking in a different way. We should not limit ourselves in any way. And my time is already up, I'm sure, but before I leave, I have 2 videos I want to play for us that has been maybe just an example of what I've been sharing with us. There's a technology called Microsoft Kinect. I know a lot of us have heard about it. And it basically is a new device produced by Microsoft that senses human gesture, and it's able to read your gesture, so you can write a program that you can interact with using your body movements or your voice. And it's a very, very new device. It's a new technology. But most people would have seen this video and would think, That's those developed countries, they are doing it again. But nobody ever thinks of bringing distance. Nobody has ever thought of building solutions with distance. But this is one in which seemed very far away the very first time I saw it, but it's something I've been able to interact with. It's a solution that I've been able to use in a particular sector, and I'm just going to show us. I don't know if we can have sound. Okay.
We thought this would be fun to play with, and it was. But something amazing is happening. The world is starting to imagine things we hadn't even thought of. Unexpected things. Hopeful things. Beautiful things. Inspiring things. Which is why, even though the world keeps asking us what we'll do with Kinect next, we're just as excited to ask the world the same thing.
We don't have all the time, but basically that's the Kinect technology applied where the second video you saw, and it was applied in education to provide a more interactive way of teaching students. And this idea was not, the technology was seen, but the idea was sat down, was thought of by a team that sat down and did a lot of planning. And I just believe that if we change the way we think, that I'm sure that we would have a brighter future for Nigeria. Thank you.